Let's be perfectly honest, and I don't mean this to be offensive in any way, but typically, older generations, senior citizens, tend to struggle a little bit with technology. You know, newer technology coming out. They like the simpler stuff from back in the day, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if one of those senior citizens happens to be the President of the United States, railing on about how bad technology is because they don't understand it, then yes, at that point, it becomes a problem. And that's exactly what happened earlier this week. Donald Trump took to Twitter. Rather than mourning the victims of the recent Boeing 737 MAX 8 jet crash in Ethiopia where 157 people were killed, rather than mourning them, he said, dang it, planes are just too darn smart these days and they're complicated and pilots don't know how to fly them. Here are the exact tweets. It was 2 tweets. Airplanes are becoming far too complex to fly. Pilots are no longer needed, but rather computer scientists from MIT. I see it all the time in many products, always seeking to go one unnecessary step further when often old and simpler is far better. Split decisions are needed and the complexity creates danger. All of this for great cost yet very little gain. I don't know about you, but I don't want Albert Einstein to be my pilot. I want great flying professionals that are allowed to easily and quickly take control of a plane. Which, by the way, Donald, is exactly how planes work today. And no, I also would not want Albert Einstein flying my plane because I don't think a man who's been dead for decades would be a very good pilot. Maybe that's just us. Nonetheless, Donald, I think you need to understand that, yeah, there's probably some problems with this Boeing plane. In fact, American pilots have actually been reporting to the federal government that they're having problems with these Boeing 737 MAX 8s. So what's the government doing about it, bud? You run the government. Pilots in the U.S. are telling you these planes are bad. Do something. This is on you, you idiot. But that particular plane design aside, air travel today is safer than it's ever been in history. Plane crashes are down by 1/3 from what they were in the 90s. They're down by 75% of what they are or were in the 70s. You're far less likely to be in a plane crash. Unfortunately, thanks to deregulation and a government that's completely useless, we have corporations out there putting out shoddy products, and sometimes those shoddy products happen to be airplanes because we fired all the regulators and crippled all the agencies that are supposed to be looking over their shoulders, making sure they're not cutting corners. This has nothing to do with increases or advances in technology in airplanes. Pilots are still needed. They still make the decisions. They still control the damn planes, you idiot. So don't get on Twitter on your smartphone and complain that things are just too complex and we should go back to the days of prop planes and single engines that had a horrible history of going down. Things are okay right now. They'd be even better if you and your Republican brethren would stop cutting all of the agencies who are supposed to be keeping us safe when we fly on a plane. Thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget, if you like what you see here, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. And now you can also become a member of Ring of Fire and get exclusive early access to certain Ring of Fire videos all throughout the week. Just click on the little join button right below the video.